Welcome, everyone. And I've got Roger Drummer, who's a diplomat of Chinese herbology in the USA. And he's an international speaker and a great authority on many aspects of nutrition. So I'm just going to ask him a little bit about the Flavon company and these incredible nutritionals that they have. So, Roger, do you want to just introduce a little bit about yourself and how you came across them, or, you know, what your...
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I like telling this story because it's probably a typical network marketing story, right? I've been a speaker the last 12 years for a different network marketing company, and I no longer wanted to pursue that, but I've never actually joined a company and wanted to promote products. It's just not in my, I always thought it was just not in my personal makeup to share things like that and be in a network marketing company. But I've always been involved in nutrition and herbs since 1980. And so it's part of my life. And I love public speaking. But a friend of mine, which you probably all know, Daniel from Sweden, called me up, and he had joined the company and he wanted me to try some products out. And so he thought it was really exciting. And, you know, everybody calls you and wants you to do that, right? So, you know, especially me, I get calls from everybody. Everybody wants me to join some company. They are so excited, right? So I like Daniel a lot, Daniel and Susie. So I bought a carton, right? I'll check it out, right? So then I started looking at the website and realized it's all just food. You know, there's not some gimmick. There's not some secret herb they discovered in Tasmania or somewhere that was growing under a hut of a pygmy or somewhere. You know, that's how these network marketing companies do. They always discover something growing somewhere in a native tribe that no one's ever seen. And it really just turns out to be a story, right? So anyway, I got my carton in and I started taking it and noticed something within a few days. And then I started realizing that it's just food and it doesn't conflict with anything that I do in my other businesses for nutrition or anything that I do in my whole life. And so all these things are just things that fit into my lifestyle and actually were very easy to promote. And it's also a segment of the nutrition world that I have to tell every client I've ever had is change your diet. You need to eat more fruits and vegetables. You need to do something that actually promotes your health. You can't just take herbs as a medicine or any other nutritional supplement as a medicine if you don't eat right. It just doesn't work. And so I started using these. My wife started using them, and she had great results with her skin, which is the first thing I noticed. My skin changed. And then my wife had a problem with her eye that I've been helping her with for years, never got past a certain point. And within a week, there was a difference in that. And I'm going, holy cow, wow, it's just food, right? And it's just antioxidants from berries and chocolate and vegetables in a jar. It's really easy to do. And I got really excited and I just joined. I've never joined a company before. And so now I'm doing it, you know, but the thing I love about it is that, you know, in most companies, people try to go out and diagnose everyone, right? They're trying to help them with their health issue. They try to be a doctor. And you know what? People aren't qualified to do that. Most people aren't qualified to do that. Half the questions I get, I'm not qualified to deal with, right? It takes medical people, and you let those people go to the doctor and deal with their issues, their extreme issues on health, right? But the one thing that anyone can help somebody with is changing their diet and getting more of these types of nutrients into their body, because you know what? These are like a food group that hardly anybody consumes at a level that they actually need to stay healthy. And this is what I'm finding out from being in it for about 6 weeks now, is that the response I'm getting is because their body is so deficient in flavonoids and that whole class of plant-based antioxidants that it's changing their system, because this type of antioxidant is something that's really important for your arteries, your heart, your brain. It has an effect throughout your entire system. And most people are, I like to say, they're like a plant that's drooped over from not having any water for 2 weeks. And you give them some of one of these, right? And it's like pouring a half a gallon of good water on a plant. It just stands back up again and it starts to be alive. And that's the whole thing that's happening with these products.
That's a great way to describe it. I mean, what I really like, and I've been taking it for 3-4 weeks, and I feel amazing actually, taking away sugar cravings and just giving me a lot more energy. And is that, you know, it's safe for children, and you know, I've heard even for diabetics because of very low sugar content in each. Can you say a little bit about that? Because most products are not always safe for children and pregnant women and diabetics, but these are safe for everyone.
Well, you have to remember, it's just berries. Like the Flavon Max is really just berries. There's a little bit of ginseng in this one, but they make it one without, so anybody can use it. Flavon Joy is just really kind of the same formula, fruits and antioxidants from fruits and some chocolate. With chocolate is a very powerful antioxidant, especially for diabetics and for brain issues and all that. It has a very potent type of antioxidant that's beneficial for anybody that wants to take it. So these are just a way of getting food into your system. And that's why it's safe for everyone, because everyone has to eat food. And most people, again, are eating diets that contain very little antioxidants from plants, or what they refer to in Flavon as ORAC value. ORAC is a way of measuring the antioxidant activity of a particular plant or food. And so these are very high in it. And the average person, I know in America, you'll love this story. The average, they tell you should get a minimum of 5,000 ORAC in a day, right? That's a minimum. And that just is some level they decided would keep you somewhat healthy, right? Well, the average, that would take about 10 to 15, maybe 20 servings of fruits and vegetables, depending on the quality and the type. Well, the average person in America gets about 1.5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Most of that is either a banana or some vegetables on their food from the drive-up window at a fast food restaurant. Most people just don't incorporate quality plant food in their diet. So they're very deficient.
I mean, what I love about it is you're talking about ORAC value. Just one small spoon of, say, the Joy is 60,000 ORAC value, which is incredible. I mean, that would be like having, I don't know how many, 50 portions of fruit and veg in a day,
Right, it is. And what's amazing about this, I'm learning so much about nutrition by just using these things and giving them to people, is that with Joy, well, they say you can't absorb that much ORAC at one time. Well, okay. But everybody that does that has a result within a couple of days. They have something's changed in their health. And it's because everybody has a low level of inflammation all over their body. And it manifests differently in different people. If you've had an injury to a joint, it'll usually manifest as arthritis. If you're eating a really poor diet, it'll manifest as high cholesterol and heart problems. If you're not eating the right things your brain needs, it'll manifest as brain fog, inability to make quick decisions, all these different things that are related to just low levels of inflammation, mostly caused by dietary deficiencies of nutrients that your body needs to run. So when you could take a product like this and have a result within 3 days, you notice, then you realize that, wow, my body really is deficient in food and real food. And the beauty of this, though, is that they can take like one serving of this has the same antioxidant value of 2.4 pounds of red cherries, right? Without all the sugar, because 2.4 pounds of red cherries is going to have a minimum of 4,000 or 5,000 calories. That's the minimum, right? Well, this has 12 or 15 calories. Yeah. And so, they distill it down to take the water and the sugar out and just leave you with the parts of the plant that provide the nutrition and the antioxidant value of it.
I think that's the genius of it. And I have to say, they all taste amazing, because I thought when I got them, this is going to taste, especially the veg, but my daughter takes it, the berries, they're just delicious, all of them.
Oh, my kids, that was the big test. My kids love it. And they'll put it on toast for breakfast. They'll just go out and eat spoons of it. I don't put any limits on it. I just say eat it whenever you want. Eat it at least twice and eat it whenever you want.
Yeah.
And it just sits on the counter with a jar of this little espresso cup that now has 20 spoons in it. And all those colors, right? And they just come out and they pick spoons out and they take it, they rinse it, and they put it back in the cup.
Yeah. Great. Look, I think we've covered most things. I just wanted to have an overview. And last question is maybe about the importance, of prevention, because nowadays we're seeing so many people getting, dementia younger and Alzheimer's and, serious illness, immune system breaking down. So I imagine these things are really crucial, for everybody from children to adults to actually stay healthy and combat, the stress that's bombarding us,
Well, I'll tell you my theory I've had on most health issues, and I know this is true for most chronic health issues. And this is a theory I learned in Chinese medicine when I first trained in that as an apprentice and became a licensed herbalist, is that most people's issues are due to two things. One is chronic stress, and the other one is chronic deficiencies of nutrients in their system. Their body literally wears out because of poor food and a lack of nutrition. And so whenever that type of a person, say they're 50 years old now, they go to a doctor with chronic illness, they're going to get a drug, which they may need depending on what the issue is, temporarily for whatever they have going on. It's always good to go to a doctor and check it out. But what they don't realize is most of their issues is just due to being worn out. The mechanisms that keep you healthy in your body, even the mechanisms that run the cellular repair for your DNA, all these things require nutrition at every moment to keep running and to fix things, right? Well, if you're deficient in it for 30 years, your body finally breaks down. It can no longer take nutrients from somewhere else or try to keep up your health. It just starts to fail. And taking a drug rarely will ever correct a deficiency. It might hide a symptom for a while, but your body needs, just like a plant that's been low on water, it needs to fill back up. Yeah. It actually needs to take a level of nutrition, a really good level of nutrition that supplies the body with what it needs to run every process and put it back in your system for a prolonged period of time. And what you'll notice, people will just start to change. They can't believe it's because it's food. Well, your body was made to run on real food. It wasn't made to run on processed packaged crackers and things like that. It runs on real food with real nutrients in it. And when it gets it back, it just starts to blossom again and things change. Yeah. And all of a sudden you'll notice 3 months down the road that half the problems that you used to think about every day, you haven't thought of it in like 3 or 4 weeks because they just disappeared.
Yeah.
And what was it due to? Your body was just worn out.
Wow, that's great. And just finishing off with diabetics, I think, Daniel was saying, it is safe. This a small spoon of this has hardly any 3 grams of sugar or less. And, it is safe for diabetics even, which is amazing.
Well, it's the type of sugar is fructose, which is naturally occurring in fruits. But like any sugar, you don't want to have it excessively. But compare a serving of this has 2 grams of sugar. A small apple will have 19 grams. So compare that, it's very little. And fructose doesn't raise your blood sugar.
Yeah.
It's a type of sugar that's processed differently. But the reality is for diabetics, when you have blood sugar issues, the main way that damages your system is through inflammation. The amount of sugar causes an inflammatory process in your kidneys, which is why diabetics after many years will always end up usually on getting their blood filtered, to be on kidney dialysis, things like that.
Yeah.
Diabetics tend to have about 6 times the requirements for antioxidants as a normal person because of the amount of inflammation throughout their whole circulatory system due to excessive sugar.
So this would really help in a way. This would actually
it really helps because it starts to deal with the inflammation, and then your body is able to then start to regulate itself again. But in the presence of all that inflammation, it's very hard to make any progress in what you have going on.
And can I just ask, have you been, I've been using the premium, the 3 premium. Have you, like, do you get the ones for the kids, the normal ones, or just try everything out? Because they all have slightly different functions, don't they?
Well, you know, I take the premium pack. I take a serving of each of the premiums every day.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you, my wife and I both love the taste of the Protect.
Mm-hmm.
It's something about the sour cherries in there that has a lot more in it. And it's really kind of a sweet sour mix. And we could eat it by the teaspoon. We just, you know, in fact, I try to tell her not to eat that much because, you know, obviously we could go through 3 or 4 jars of that in a month, right? But it just tastes fantastic to me. And if I'm ever going to eat a piece of toast, I always put Protect all over it. I like it on different foods. I just love the taste of it. So I eat a lot of Protect and the 3 premiums. And then my kids eat mostly the Flavon Kids. I ordered a 4-pack of just kids for them. And because I have 2 girls at home, they're 13 and 10, and they just love it. You know,
what a great idea to put it on toast. I didn't think of that. You know, and
yeah, you know, I was just doing that one day. I was traveling. I actually got stuck in the blizzard in near Philadelphia a few weeks ago. I was out east, and I was going to travel, and I just took 1 jar with me, which is a new jar of the Protect. So I was just dumping it on everything just to see what it tastes like. And one morning I was having this really great gluten-free toast. I actually found a brand that's edible, right? It actually almost seems like bread, which is really unusual. And I just poured some on there, and it was the first time I ever had jam on bread in 8 years. Wow. I was like in heaven. I was like, wow, you know.
And healthy jam.
Healthy jam, right.
Great, thanks, Roger, and we'll be connecting soon in the UK, especially because I think you're a great inspiration to us all in Europe, and hope to see you over here at some point.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Roger. Okay. Bye.